guys, before we get into the video, I just want to say a massive thank you for 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. I certainly do. I really do appreciate it. And I'm going to do a Q&A for hitting 1,000 subs. So I put a post up on the community tab. So either leave me questions there or leave me questions in the comments of this video. Now let's get into this video. Hi guys, 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 hi guys. How are we all doing? Are we doing well? Very good, very good. In today's video, I am planning on boring you to sleep. I've got this book out again, and I'm actually going to read some of it. I'm not going to read the whole yet because it's fucking like 200 pages long, and quite frankly I'm not actually that good at reading, so yes, this is out of focus, there we go. But yes, I'm gonna wait and see how this goes. The #1 politics book of the year, Chavs. Christ, politics as well. If you're not asleep by the end of this, I don't know what will make you go to sleep listening to politics. Let's get into it. I'm not even gonna like read out the starting bit, I'm just gonna go on to like the first page where I see proper writing. Yeah. Wait, that's not it. Here we go. The introduction. It's an experience we've all had. You're among a group of friends or acquaintances when suddenly someone says something that shocks you, and aside a flippant comment made in poor taste, but the most disquieting part isn't the remark itself, it's the fact that no one else seems the slightest bit taken back. You look around in vain, hoping for even a flicker of concern or the hint of its cringe. I had one of those moments at a friend's dinner in Gatravine Park, East London, on one winter evening. The blackcurrant cheesecake was being carefully sliced, and the conversation had drifted to the topic of the moment. The credit crunch. Suddenly one of the hosts tried to raise the mood by throwing in a light-hearted joke. It's sad that Woolworths is closing. Where will all the chavs buy their Christmas presents? Now he was not someone who would ever consider himself to be a bigot. Neither would anyone else present for. After all, they were all educated and open-minded professionals sitting around the table where people from more than one ethnic group, the gender split was 50-50. Not everyone was straight. All would have placed themselves somewhere left of centre politically. They would have bristled at being labelled a snob if a stranger had attended the evening and disgraced him or herself by bandying around the word like, oh Christ, I actually can't say that. Right, there's no danger I'm saying that. It's bad words, so there you go. Word like beep or beep, they would have found themselves swiftly ejected from the flat. Fucking hell, I wasn't expecting that in this. But no one flinched at a joke about chavs shopping in likely to have been among the 100,000 readers of the Little Book of Chavs, an enlightened tome that describes chavs as the burgeoning peasants' underclass. If they had picked it up from a bookshop corner counter for a quick browse, they would have learned that chavs tend to work as supermarket checkout cashiers. Fast food restaurant workers and cleaners, yet deep down everyone must have known that chav is an insulting word, exclusively directed against people who are working class. The joke could have easily been rephrased as, "It's sad that Woolworth is closing. Where will the ghastly lower class buy their Christmas presents?" And yet it wasn't even what was said that disturbed me the most, it was who said it, and who shared the laughter. Everyone sitting around the table had a well-paid professional job. Whether they admitted it or not, they owed their success above all to their backgrounds. All grew up in comfortable middle-class homes, genuinely went out in the leafy suburbs. Some were educated in expensive private schools. Most had studied at the universities like Oxford, LSE or Bristol. The chances of someone from a working class background ending up like them were, to say the least, remote. Here I was witnessing a fucking hell, I can't read that. Right, I'm gonna pass that. That goes back hundreds of years. The wealthy mocking the less well off, and it got me thinking how the hatred of working class people becomes so socially acceptable. Privately educated multi-millionaire comedians dress up as chavs for amusement in popular sitcoms such as Little Britain, which is quite funny by the way. Our newspapers eagerly hunt down horror stories about life among the chavs and pass them on as representatives of working class communities. Internet sites such as Chav Scum brim with venom directed at the chav circuit, as it seems though working class people are in the one group in society that you can say practically anything about. You would be hard pushed to find someone in Britain who hates chav as much as Richard Hilton. Mr. Hilton is the chief executive of Gymbox, one of the trendier additions to London's flourishing fitness scene. Known for its creatively titled gym classes, Gymbox is unshamedly aimed at fitness freaks with deep pockets, demanding a steep £175 joining fee on top of £72 a month for membership. As Mr. Hilton explains himself, Gymbox was launched to tap into the insecurities of his predominantly white-collar professional clientele. Members were asking for self-defence classes as they were scared living in London, he says. In spring 2009, Gymbox unveiled an addition to its already electric range of classes, including boob aerobics, pole dancing and bitch boxing. Chav fighting, don't give me moody grunting chavs, and an ABSO is white urged give them a kicking. The rest of the promotional spiel did not pull its punches either, in the voice of vigilante with a good grasp of PR. Forget stealing candy from a baby. We'll teach you how to take Bacardi off a hoodie and turn grunt into wine. Welcome to Chav Fighting, a place where the punch bags gather dust and the world is put to rights. The leaflets were even more candid. Why hone your skills on a punch bag and a planks of wood when you can take some chavs? A world where Bacardi breezers are your sword and ASBOs are your trophy. There were some who felt that glorifying beating people up might be overstepping the mark. When the advertising standards of it was sweaty teenage hands on. If they are not institutionalizing by 21, they are considered pillars of strength in the community or get much respect for being lucky. It is no surprise that when asked if so-called chavs were getting a hard time in Britain, his response was blunt: no, they deserve it. Apparently the class was hit with gym goers describing it as one of the most popular classes we have ever run. He claimed that most people related to it and enjoyed it. A few of the PC brigade were offered by it, or were offended by it, and yet intriguingly Mr. Hilton does not think of himself as a bigot. Far from it, sexism, racism and homophobia, for example, were completely unacceptable. As an extremely successful businessman, Richard Hilton has tapped into the fear and loathing felt by some middle-class Londoners towards the lower orders. It's a compelling image, sweating, say, bankers taking their orders. It is taking their orders out their recession-induced frustrations on semi-bestial poor kids. Welcome to Gym Box, where class war meets personal fitness. It is easy to gasp at Hilton's unembarrassed hatred, but he has crudely painted a widespread middle-class image of the working-class teenager: thick, violent, criminal, breeding like animals. And of course these chavs are not isolated elements, they are after all regarded as pillars of strength in one community. Jim Boggs isn't the only British company to have exploited middle-class horror of large swathes and working class. Britain Activities Abroad's a travel firm offering an exotic adventure holidays with the price tags often upwards of £2,000, husky safaris in the Canadian wilderness, Finnish log cabins, that sort of thing. But chavs need not apply. In January 2009, the company sent a promotional email to 24,000 people on its database, quoting a Daily Mail article from 2005 showing that children with middle-class names were 8 times more likely to pass their GCSEs than those with names like Wayne and Dwayne. Unlucky Wayne and Dwayne. The findings had led them to wonder what sort of names were likely to be found on Activities Abroad trip. So the team had a trawl through their database and they came up with 2 lists of names you are likely to encounter on their holidays, and those you were not: Alice, Joseph and Charles featured on the first list. Back to Activities Abroad, excursions were Brittany, Chantel and Daza free zone. They concluded that it could legitimately promise chav-free activity holidays. Again, not everyone was amused, but the company was unprecedented. I simply feel it is time the middle classes stood up for themselves, declared Managing Director Alistair McLean. Regardless of whether it is class welfare or not, I make no apology for proclaiming myself to be middle class. When I spoke to Barry Nolan, one of the company's directors, he was equally defiant that the great indignation came from the Guardian readers who were showing false indignation because they don't live near them. He said it resonated with the sort of people who were likely to be booking holidays with us. It proved to be an overwhelming success with our client base. Apparently the business enjoyed a 44% increase in sales in the aftermath, and thorough Gym Box and Activities Abroad had taken a slightly different angle. Gym Box were tapping into middle class fears that social inferiors were a violent mob, but waiting to knife them to death in some dark alleyway allowed working class people to invade the middle class space of foreign holidays. You can't even flee abroad to escape these days. That sort of sentiment, but both of them were evidence of just how mainstream middle class hatred of working people is in the modern Britain. used as a convenient hook to prove the anti-chav narrative when ex-convict Raoul Maud went on the run after shooting dead his ex-lover partner. In July 2010, he became an anti-hero for the minority of some of the country's most marginalised working class people. One criminologist, Professor David Wilkinson, argued he was tapping into the dispossessed white working class masculine mentality, whereby they can make their way into the world legitimately, so behaving the way that Moore has behaved is a kind of anti-hero. So I think it touched a nerve. White working class men had a stroke. White working class men had a stroke been reduced to knuckle dragging thugs, lacking legitimate aspirations. The internet hosted a vitriolic free-for-all. Take this comment on the Daily Mail site. This is a quote from the Daily Mail site, I think. Look around the supermarkets, the bus, and increasingly now on the road, you will encounter ever-growing numbers of tattooed, loud-filled, mouthed pros with scummy brats trailing in their wake, who are incapable of acknowledging or even recognising a common courtesy, and who in their own minds can never be in the wrong about anything. These are the people who are getting sentimental about a vicious killer. They have no values, no morality, and you are just thick that they are beyond redemption. You are better off just avoiding them. This form of first-class hatred has become an integral, respectable part of modern British culture. It is presented in newspapers, TV comedies, shows, films, internet forums, social networking sites, and everyday conversions. At the heart of the chav's phenomenon is an attempt to obscure the working reality of working class majority. We're all middle class now, runs the popular mantra, all except for a feckless, regular rump of the old working class. Simon Heffer is a strong advocate of this theory, one of the most prominent right-wing journalists in the country. Often argued out, this is something called the respectable working class, has almost died out what sociologists used to call the working class. It does not usually work at all, but sustained by the welfare state, it has given way to what he calls a feral underclass. When I asked him what he meant by this, he replied, the respectable working class has died out largely for good reason, because it was aspirational and because society still provided the means of aspiration. They had moved up the social ladder because they've gone to university and they've got jobs in the white collar trades or professions, and they've become middle class, or the millions who remain in manual occupations, or the majority of the population who have not attended university, fit into all this is an interesting question. According to Heffer, however, there are really two main groups in British society. You don't have families anymore that live in a sort of respectable, humble circumstances for generation after generation. They either become clients of the welfare state and become the underclass, or they become middle class. This is a model of society as seen through Heffer's eyes. Nice middle class people on one side, and undreamable detritus on the other, the underclass who represent the section of working class that not only has no ambition, it has no aspiration, and nothing in between with it. After all, the journalists producing this stuff have a little, if any, contact with people they disparage. Heffer has a thoroughly middle class background, he lives in the country, and sends his kids to Eton. At one point he admits, I don't know a great deal about underclass, a fact that is not deterred him from repeatedly slagging them off. There are some who defend the use of word chav and claim that actually working class people are not demonised at all. Chav is simply used to designate antisocial hooligans and thugs. This is questionable to begin with. was weird. It was like I just didn't mind reading that, but I don't know. A quick shout out to the Tigo boys as well. Just wanted to say that. The Pro Clubs team, Tito Sports FC. I forgot to do that at the start of the video. But yeah, if you did enjoy that, then let me know in the comments. And if you've also got any questions for the Q&A that I'm planning on doing, if I get enough questions for the 1,000 sub special, then please leave them in the comments as well. But hope you've enjoyed that. If you're not asleep already, if you've been bored to sleep yet, if not, then I'll have other